Do you ever consider using a fiber optic cable to connect an IP device to a router? Usually, we will use the UTP cable, such like the Cat5e or Cat6 Ethernet cable to connect the IP device to the router. However, while we use the fiber optic cable, we cannot attach this fiber optic cable to both ends. The reason is the modem or the router, it cannot take in the fiber optic cable directly. We need to have additional equipment. In this video, I'm going to talk about what you need to set up the connection between the router to your IP device, such like the PC computer. Now let's move to the workshop and I will walk through each of the steps, and so we can see how easily and quickly we can set up the system. If you like this video, don't forget to click the like button below. If you really help the YouTube algorithm to find the people who really need this video. This is the single mode fiber optic cable. The fiber optic cable provides fast speed, low latency, and long distance run. There's one more feature you can get from the fiber optic cable. You don't need to consider the surge protection. When we pull the UTP cable, Cat5e or Cat6 from the router or modem to a remote location, the cable could attract the surge, and the surge can travel to both ends. It may eventually damage your edge device or the router. The fiber optic cable is made of the glasses, so there's no way the glasses could attract the surge. We do need to have the surge protection, at least for the cable side. Here I'm using a pre-made fiber optic cable. I choose the pre-made fiber optic cable is I don't need to handle the connector. The connector was built in the factory with the pulling eyes. I just need to pull the cable from the point A to point B, and that will be it. The second device we need is the media converter. These two are the media converter. The media converter will convert the electronic signal to a fiber optic signal. So basically we need to have one pair. One stay next to the router, another stay next to the remote device. There's two ports. One is the RJ45 port. It will connect to the UTP cable, and eventually it will attach to our router or the remote device. This is the SSP slot. We still cannot plug this cable to this slot directly. The reason is we still need to have another equipment, SFP transceiver. These two are SFP transceiver. The SFP transceiver will determine what kind of fiber optic cable we can use. Here we are using the single mode fiber optic cable, so we have to choose the SFP transceiver which supports a single mode. Also the connector. This is the very common connector, it's the LC connector. It's quite compact, so it saves the space in the field. I think there's one thing I need to point out is there's only single port, right? Usually we need to have two cables, one for transmit the signal, another for receiving the signal. But why we can use just one port, single fiber joint, actually we only need one, we don't need to have two. This SFP transceiver using different wavelength to transmit and receive the data. So single strands is enough to carry one device. We got two strands, that means we can have two independent links from the edge to this router. Alright, now let me just put everything up and power this media converter. First, let me insert the SFP transceiver to the SFP slot on the media converter. The media converter also needs the power. The media converter will take in the low voltage power between the 5 voltage to the 12 voltage. Okay, the second thing is let's just got this short patch cord. This is the UTP cable. So we can connect this USB cable to the network port on this MacBook. And I also need to pick one of the SFP drive. We got two. One is the A, the second drive is the B. I will choose 8. So the second drive basically is useless. It's just not used for us. Okay, now we set up the remote side. Let's move to the router end. It's pretty much the same. Also, we need to install the SFP transceiver. And we got the power to power up the media converter. Then we got also 8. We're using the same tape, same cable, not the cross cable. That's quite important. And connect the fiber optic cable to the SFP transceiver. The last step is we need to pick the USB cable. It's short patch cord to link the RJ45 network port to one of the LAN port. It's important we don't use the WAN port. The WAN port is supposed to connect to internet server provider. So we only need to pick one of the LAN port. Let's check. We can see both indicators on. That means the SFP transceiver has set up the fiber optical link with the remote side. That will be it. The setup is quite simple. Basically, it's plug and play. There's no need to configure anything. These two are just the converter. It converts the electronic signal to the fiber optical signal. I also mentioned there's a SFP transceiver. It's quite important. If you determine what kind of fiber optic cable you can use, what kind of connector you can use. If you want to learn more about the SFP transceiver, you can reference my another video, how to choose the SFP transceiver.